Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network hot take. I'm your host, Anthony Rigucci, and here with a few friends from the Delaware County area, we get in a basement and we review a game, a movie, a TV show, or whatever the hell we want to review. Today we're going to be reviewing a movie, and that movie is Spider-Man Far From Home. Of course, to discuss, as always, Chris Trio.
What's going on, Gooch? How are you?
Good. So, let's do a spoiler-free kind of impressions first.
I agree. Right off the bat.
Kind of got a lot going on, so we don't want to just jump into it just yet.
I agree.
So, what'd you think, Spider-Man?
I had a blast. I really did. I had a lot of fun. I thought Gyllenhaal was a great just addition to the cast and everything. I don't think
anyone could have played Mysterio better, and that's given his, like, if you've seen movies like Nightcrawler, for example, just to name one movie that, like, his kind of like acting
really come through.
Like, that movie's a good kind of comparison as to why it casted as Mysterio.
No, I agree. Yeah, now that you mention that, that's totally true. I really definitely do see that a lot in his performance in a lot of ways. And yeah, I mean, I think they just got a great cast altogether in these movies. I mean, I adore Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I really do.
Pretty much there's no new cast really returning besides him. He's the only new character in this movie.
Yeah, for real.
Which is actually weird. What you think about?
I guess now that you mention that.
Yeah.
I guess their Asian friend, the guy who ages the 5 years.
Yeah, but like...
Well, no, I was just trying to remember, was he in the first movie? Like, side character?
Probably not.
And again, not an important character.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I think the cast is great. I love Zendaya, I gotta say, as MJ. I think their take on the current day, like a Spider-Man growing up in current day schooling and all that stuff, works. And I have a lot of fun with it, and I thought seeing him in somewhere that wasn't New York was actually refreshing. And I enjoyed that.
I wouldn't say it was refreshing. Kind of one criticism I think I have of the film is the pacing. It seems very weird to me. Like, just the way the movie...
In what way?
The way the movie is set out, okay, they're fighting the elementals. Again, spoiler free. They're fighting the elementals, and, they pretty much, conclude that plot within the first, 40 minutes, in a way. In the direct way.
Yeah, try and avoid spoilers here,
yeah.
Obviously.
I don't think...
Yeah, I just think... I don't know, I didn't have any pacing issues, really, with the movie. I found that they kind of got through what they needed to in the beginning right away. They set up Mysterio and why he's there and how he got into...
If you're smart, you know the movie's not really about that.
True. No, very true. I think more
didn't come into this movie and be like, yeah, this movie's about the elementals.
But again, we're more comic savvy.
Yeah, true.
Your layman's not going to know.
If you know
anything.
Mysterio, some of the,
you know what's coming.
Has a lot of twists and turns, but if you know who Mysterio is from the comics, you're going to know maybe one or two of them.
Yeah. But I thought action scenes were really cool. I don't know. I liked seeing him swinging through the canals of Venice and stuff for something different rather than New York, and I thought it was cool.
I wish we got really a little bit more of him actually on vacation. Thinking about going back, it's like, wow, they really don't have a lot of scenes where he's just on vacation.
Exactly.
It very much skims over that.
And I think that's on purpose, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. You kind of want to get some context as him as Peter Parker. I mean, in Homecoming, we definitely get that. And in Infinity War and Endgame, it's obviously not about that at all.
No, yeah.
I think grounding Spider-Man is really important.
And I think do you not think they did that?
I don't think they did in this movie because the plot doesn't necessarily give them the opportunity to do it. They do it, but, if you realize, he barely interacts with anyone in his... besides Ned...
because he's there's
not much going on with his class besides the humorous dialogue they have,
and I think that works. I don't need to know about his whole. I think you get most of your character interactions with the people that I care about. I don't know.
I'm not saying it's the people he cares about, but they just don't spend time him actually he's in Paris. Why don't we give maybe a 5-minute or 10-minute scene of him actually not doing Spider-Man stuff, and then he gets hit. No, I feel
you get that he's walking around the town, he buys the thing for MJ, he's seen a little bit of the sights, but then Fury comes in and interacts with
just quickly.
And I think I enjoyed that.
It's coming in and out, it happens, and then we're back to action, and then maybe there's a lull, but it's not necessarily him on the trip. It's he's talking to Fury and Quentin back about whatever, and then he's back in the hotel and something weird happens, and then he's right back to the action.
It's funny because I felt
the
like
beginning of the movie I think is very fast.
No, it goes right into it. It's not holding your hand in a lot of ways, and I guess for maybe people who aren't used to these movies, that will be a little bit of a turnoff. But I don't know. This felt like the most grounded Spider-Man we've gotten on screen. I felt the most related to Spider-Man.
Really?
For who did you feel more related to, Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire?
So define what you mean by grounded.
I mean, I feel like he is a real person living in the real world that we live in. Like the way he's interacting with MJ, the way he's awkward, the way he interacts with all his class.
That's not what I meant by grounded. By grounded, I meant like he's actually living a part of his like actual life, and you see that.
And that's
like,
what we saw though in the movie. I felt like
you see him being normal. Yeah, and not unrealistic.
Yeah, no,
I don't disagree with that at all.
But
like you don't get. I don't know. There's some like moments in like I guess Spider-Man 2 is a good example where like a lot of that movie is not him as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people think like Spider-Man 2 is one of the best comic book films of all time. I wouldn't necessarily agree, but like that movie is more about like Spider-Man 2 is more about Peter Parker than it is about Spider-Man.
True. And I think this one was on the same level of that. If anything, this is him dealing with that strife of wanting to be a regular kid for a bit. I mean, he literally
they talk about it, but they don't show you him.
But exactly because he doesn't get to be a regular kid anymore. He is a superhero. He is the next Tony Stark, and they solidify that to hell by the end of the movie. I still don't think,
and like the next movie, we're not gonna get any of what I'm talking about.
I guess I don't know.
Just based off the ending.
Yeah. I guess, like, just living his regular life as Peter Parker and balancing that with his life as Spider-Man more. It's kind of what you want to say.
So, like, one of my critiques of Homecoming was the film is more about the MCU than it is about Spider-Man. Iron Man being in it, the Chitauri Tech being in it, like, everything is very, like, around the MCU and what it's built and how that affects Spider-Man. It's not necessarily just about him. And that move... and Far From Home is the same way. It's more about how the MCU as a whole has affected the world Spider-Man lives in and how he's dealing with it.
True.
But I expect that. The stuff with Iron Man is expected. And like I like the scenes where he like kind of gets like dizzy and is maybe having like a little bit of PTSD.
Sure.
Something I think they maybe could have hit even a little harder. That he like really mentally just breaks down. Because he kind of has it for like a second and then he's out and he's like, oh, I need to really get some air or whatever.
Well, no, I think... are you talking about the part with Happy? When he kind of has that...
A little bit. But like they do it like 2 or 3 times.
And I think they do... I
found
that
it was more aggressive or worse as like it went on.
See, he's definitely the Spider-Man out of all 3 of them that I felt the most bad for that he has to deal with this, especially because he actually is a 16-year-old kid who's dealing with all this bullshit. And the one scene I love when all the reporters are surrounding him in the beginning and they're like, are you the next Iron Man? Who's going to save us? Like, people are shitting their pants because of what just happened. And if anything like that could happen again and they see him and they don't even know that he's a 16-year-old kid.
I will rebut because I don't really think people are shitting their pants. Okay, let's jump into spoilers. Let's talk about the plot. Just a closing statement. You liked it.
I loved it.
I liked it too. I have some gripes here and there, but it's not a bad film. I liked it better than Captain Marvel.
100%.
Yeah.
That's not even a...
Well,
I'm
like,
sorry.
just to, like, compare it, not comparing it to Endgame, because it's not even worth the time.
That's not even a question.
This movie is a lot better than Captain Marvel.
Like, it's so much more of a breeze. You see an A to B point for Peter's character growth, at least I did.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like he did become, by the end of this movie, Spider-Man. He's no longer a Spider Boy. Yeah. And I really...
Just not to be confused, the two, you know?
I did not... I love this movie a lot. I really did, the more I think about it.
So, we're jumping into spoilers. So, in the beginning, they're talking about going back to the point of maybe the characters not taking, like, the situation seriously. The fact that they decide to call the snap, I looked it up. The snap was called the decimation, and now they're just calling it the blip.
Yeah.
It just feels like that's like calling 9/11 the day the buildings fell.
See,
like, it's so, like, undercut of, like, what this event was that, like, I feel like, okay, Aunt May making a joke at that thing is kind of fine. That's fine. You know, it's taking place after it, and, like, obviously, like, we make, you know, maybe as fucked up as it is, we make 9/11 jokes.
Yeah. No, I mean, comedy is tragedy plus time, or whatever.
Yeah. But, like, like the thing on their like when they're showing this in the school's newsreel, like the in memoriam was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like that's fine. But then they're showing like if they didn't call it the blip and they called it like the returning and they just showed like videos of them like coming back. Maybe if they, because it seemed like they weren't taking it seriously and they were kind of being funny about it in a way. And I didn't think it translated well.
See,
like,
I found
if
that
they were taking it super seriously and we, the audience, were laughing at it, but they were taking it seriously because obviously it's funny when like the band just like pops up again. Like during a basketball game or whatever.
For sure. I mean, I don't know. Like you're like comparing it to regular day tragedies. One thing I will say about a real tragedy is people aren't coming back from. Like everybody came back from the blip.
True.
Or whatever. So I think it.
But like,
of course,
still.
you lost 5 years of your life, and that's no joke, and that is an extremely big deal.
Yeah.
But I think
see
there
that
is.
in Endgame.
I think in a high school, your kids are gonna try and make a joke at. You're gonna try and make yourself feel a little better. But I think you see. Like the news organizations and real heads of like whatever, they're all the ones freaking out of like what happens if this happens again.
And
everyone wants to know
what happened to the decimation. Like what happened to that name? Like why did it change?
People came back.
No, but I looked it up. Like it's the blip. They're still referring to the snap. Like I looked it up.
Yeah, no,
like,
but exactly.
Like there's two
I think
different
the
events.
idea is everyone came back. You can't call it the decimation anymore because everyone came back and no one's decimated. Everyone. I think we're getting too much into the logistics of what they're naming each.
I think it just devalues the event. Laughing at.
I disagree after a while, but
it's been like 2 months since Endgame.
But they all came back.
Yeah, I know.
Is the issue like that's the thing?
But like,
I think if this was real,
that doesn't mean people don't have like issues.
For sure. But I think again,
Everyone
people are going to
kinda
try
should.
and lighten themselves. You're
I mean,
not going to
except
sit here
everyone
and
who
focus on.
disappeared probably be all right. But
That's
like
what I'm
everyone
saying.
who was still alive, which doesn't seem like everyone in the movie all vanished. It seemed
Some of their
kid.
most of their main friends group or Peter's main friends group
were
snapped.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like one kid that they elaborate on who's lived like 5 years of his life. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't getting all caught up in the MCU bits. You're saying even the first one was focused on it was Spider-Man being focused on by all these around things. I felt like Spider-Man is the focus, but they're using these ancillary storylines that we've been able to create throughout the entire MCU to feed that. Like a comic book would. You know what I mean? And even like,
but like
I love what they do
Doctor
with
Strange. The MCU really doesn't influence it at all. It's very much standalone. Same with even Ant-Man.
I agree. But again, he's a more standalone. Spider-Man's more known for being with the Avengers and stuff like that.
I
even
wouldn't say that at all.
Compared to Doctor Strange? Yeah. Hell yeah. Doctor Strange more works by himself. He's more sorcery.
I totally disagree with you.
I don't know how
you would argue that Spider-Man does not work alone? Like by himself?
No, I mean,
that's
not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying you see Spider-Man in more Avengers comics usually rather than a Doctor Strange show up. At least from what I usually see.
I don't know if I'd agree with that.
I mean, that's what I have found. But anyways, I think he works much more. The way that they introduce him works well. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to have Tony Stark bring Doctor Strange in the universe. It 100% makes sense to have Spider-Man be brought in by Iron Man. And I mean, I think all these stories were mostly focused on Peter. But yeah, you have some ancillary parts from the MCU working in that just make the movie work better. And I don't think distract from his story at all.
I'm not saying they're distracting. I'm just saying, like I think it'd be interesting to get a film where, like, it's really not about the MCU. It's just about Spider-Man.
It's funny. We're going backward. You remember when I was like, can we get some more solo movies here in MCU? And you're like, no, it needs to be connected. It needs to be connected. We're going opposite sides here right now.
It can be connected, but, like, everything is just influencing what's going on in this movie. Without Endgame, this movie couldn't happen.
Also, I think the issue is we've gotten 5 other standalone Spider-Man movies where we have tackled a lot of the things that I think you want to tackle.
I'm cool with the connections, like, at the end. Mm-hmm. Like towards the end. Or, like, Nick Fury being in it doesn't bother me. Because, like, that makes sense. But, like... And he's not even a big part in the movie, to be honest.
No, he's not.
Not like Iron Man was in the first one.
Even, do you know how many minutes he was on screen the first one? Like 5. Iron Man.
Really?
Yeah, he's not in it as much as I think you're remembering. He's barely in it.
I feel like he's in it a lot.
He's in like 3 scenes for a total of max 7 minutes.
Really?
I'm not kidding you. He got like he shows up at the end for that like 2-minute scene.
Yeah.
He shows up in the beginning for maybe a minute and a half talking to him, and then he does the other scene when he sees him on the bridge after the boat scene.
And then when he calls him in the suit.
Yes,
he's not
that's I guess you see him, but yeah, he's really not on screen for as much as I think you're remembering. I do love the
Maybe
connection.
I feel like his influence is more there.
True.
I mean, but it's always going to be there, I guess.
I love the way they connected Mysterio back to him, though. I think it made total sense. How he created the technology barf from Captain America Civil War.
For a minute, I was like, oh Lord, here we go. I just like, yep, like he's more, like he really is against Tony. I was like, oh, okay. I not that I thought it was interesting. I was just like, what villain is that they do something very similar, where he's actually fighting like someone else like essentially created him.
I would love to see a Kraven the Hunter in him. Like that would be my number. Like someone hires him to go in and kill Spider-Man.
Like I was saying,
and I mean that's
like Kraven the Hunter would make sense at this point. Sinister Six at this point, I don't think would make any sense.
I think it's going to be a while before we see anything.
I mean, they set it up.
No, they did.
And Mysterio,
he's dead.
He's dead.
I think he has to be.
No, because like somebody was like, or
is that an illusion?
Awesome. Like, nah, dude, he died.
He has to be.
He died. Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure he's dead, and that's cool. I like how they like Spider-Man like not kills,
and it made sense, yeah.
But like one of his villains dies.
Yeah, he's not sitting there crying over his corpse either. He's just like he's more crying over the fact he didn't cry, but he's more upset over the fact of what he did and Mysterio did. By the way, Jake Gyllenhaal, we'll get back. Now that we can talk about him in a more spoilery fashion, the way he does make that change after Peter walks out of the bar, it really is very Nightcrawler-esque.
Yeah, obviously,
and I think it works so well.
Knowing who Mysterio is and the
Quentin
fact
Beck,
that in the comics, Quentin Beck is a special effects artist.
Yep.
Who essentially is like, fooling people about what they're seeing, and that's a big thing in this film.
Very much ranges in the comics. You know, there's one where he tricks Wolverine into killing the entire Avengers.
Yeah.
I was like, man, he really varies.
Yeah, he can
be.
His degree.
He can be a total like low level who gives a fuck, or like
seer.
He will destroy everything. Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Spider-Man's rogues are sort of like that.
Yeah,
I mean, except for like the Sinister Six, besides Doc Ock and like, who's the other big one? Goblin.
Electro. Oh yeah, Goblin.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Spider-Man has so many rogues. He's like he is in the Batman of.
So instead of a special effects artist, which he's he's a scientist. Which is kind of like oh, of course he's a scientist.
Well, but he seemed to have some type of like directing.
Yeah,
type of.
That's what I said. I was like,
I think
so
he
when they're in
might
that
have been
warehouse, like he's directing the.
He's like, no, stop back, roll that back.
Dude, I was like, are they making a movie?
Yeah, no,
like that's what I thought. Like, is he trying to promote Mysterio with like a movie or something? Like, and that's kind of what I thought.
And I love when he rips the what's it called off the Ferris wheel Spider-Man, and you see I was like, oh, that's obviously a projector. It makes sense. That was pretty easy. When
he webs, I thought it was Chameleon. A lot of
you
people
did?
thought Chameleon.
Oh, I was like, oh, that was a projector. Totally, I leaned over to Super.
What the fuck? I was like, what did he just hit?
This wasn't a tough movie to call, but I did call this.
No,
it's like
so
he's definitely setting.
Call.
I was like, the thing that confused me was there was real destruction. So I was like, okay, if this is all illusions, then what's happening? But you realize that they're drones that are actually causing.
Which is what is the E?
No, it's not Earth.
Is it E or something?
Earth defense. I don't even remember.
No, it's.
Even though I'm dead. Oh, what is it? Even dead, I'm the hero.
Yes,
that's it. Yeah, yes. Even dead, I'm the hero.
Yeah, that's what Edith stands for.
So
it's like essentially like an Earth defense system of drones, and that's the drones are being used to like project the elementals, which have nothing to do with Sandman.
He created
or Hydro Man or anything of those like Spider-Man rogues, but I think they just alluded to them. But like, I still think like we could see Sandman or something because like that.
Oh, Sandman! Yeah, Sandman's like a totally different thing from.
Yeah, but like they don't even try to make him like the comic book Sandman or
no.
You know,
I really just liked his whole plan, and I mean, it was very easy to see coming from the fact of we read comics, but I don't know if you're just a regular moviegoer or even just a big Marvel Cinematic Universe fan that doesn't read the comics. If you walk into this and that surprised you, or know the source material, and you're surprised, because I do think, even though I knew it was coming, it was a great twist. You really see that switch in Gyllenhaal, and I love that costume, man.
I like how they like the one guy from Iron Man 1 who Tony built this. Wait, what does he say?
He built this in a basement out of a box of scraps.
Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Yeah, just
that line.
There were some good pulls, and
Tony.
again,
I love Obadiah.
I think the connections back work, but I see what you're saying in the way of you'd rather they didn't overshadow some of the other more personal aspects of him. Does that make sense?
Am I putting words in your mouth? Don't depersonalize him to Spider-Man. Like, don't make Spider-Man's villain about Tony Stark.
All the time, yeah.
All the time.
And I still think, actually...
Because, like, in a way, Vulture's very much an Avengers.
Sorry about that.
Your phone ring?
Yeah.
That's my ring. Yeah, like Vulture's very much I'm mad at the Avengers.
Yeah.
Villain. Like, that's and
it's even more, yeah, he's like, I'm mad at the big guy. I'm mad at the top dog.
Yeah.
And I think,
and both of villains,
I still think he's my favorite villain.
So, like
out of
Kraven the Hunter, if Kraven the Hunter was literally, like, brought in with the purpose of, I'm gonna hunt Spider-Man.
Like, you're the greatest prey that I can possibly...
Taskmaster, or whoever, or, Green Goblin. Like, the next villain needs to be that personal villain, because we haven't really got that yet.
I agree.
And in a way, Vulture becomes personal, but on a very... that girl and, like, that relationship don't matter anymore.
No, sure. That's definitely true. And I just... That reveal in the first Spider... I don't know how I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Like, when it just when he opens the door, and I'm like...
Michael
how did I
Keaton,
not think of this?
And
they do that thing, like Liz is black, and they do that thing of just disconnect. Like, obviously, yeah, it could be he could be her father, but you just don't even think about it right off the bat.
No, I don't think I would have thought about it at all.
I think that definitely threw a wrench in my thought for some reason too. Just like you don't even, for some reason, the unconscious mind doesn't even think to connect that. And it's funny. I read a whole article online about him, John Watts, talking about that. For the last movie.
What'd you think about Spider-Man or Peter and MJ's kind of relationship evolving?
I thought it was amazing. I really did. I felt like I love the awkward silences between them. I thought they played off each other really well. While I kind of like the comic version of MJ, obviously I think this is a nice updated one that works well for me.
And I think my more concern with the way they're doing MJ in this really stems from the fact I'm like, okay, like, what do we like? Is MJ going to die? Are we going to introduce Gwen Stacy at all? Like what I would have liked to seen is like the way they do it in the comics, and if you read like Spider-Man Blue,
Spider-Man
where
1.
like Gwen Stacy and MJ exist or in Peter's life on like varying degrees. Like he dates Gwen Stacy first, and MJ.
And then there's a period of time where it overlaps where he meets MJ, but then
he's not like with Gwen Stacy. He likes her, but then MJ comes in the scene, and he kind of likes both of them, but he ends up going out with Gwen.
Well, I thought he was going. Okay. Really? I thought they were like boyfriend and girlfriend before that for a while in the comics. Because once she's like one of the only characters in comics that, she's come back now as Spider-Gwen, but that died and stayed dead for a while. Like, and I don't know.
Like once she's dead, she's dead.
Been, in that continuity. I don't know. I found their chemistry was definitely awesome. That was one of the major things.
Go ahead.
I hate watching two people on screen that just, you're like, you don't believe it at all. And it just ruins it. It takes me out of the movie. But I like the weird little awkward kiss they had at the end. I thought it felt real. She packed.
I was like, wait, did they even like film that? Like,
it felt like
literally, she goes in to like fucking like peck him on the face, and like it cuts away, and it looks like it doesn't even happen. I was like,
well, no. So and then it cuts to his face, and I don't know. It played really well for me.
Did they just like edit that out? Like the way the camera shot was going, there are some wonky like cuts in this movie, and I saw the one scene where Mysterio sits down with Peter and he's like, "Hey, and Fury said to come talk to you." Just kidding, sarcasm. That scene is cut very odd. Like it's just like boom, 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 boom. Like there's just like there's like 4 cuts like while he's talking. It's weird.
I need to look back at it.
If it's on the Spider-Man like Facebook page, look it up.
I'll check it out.
And I shared it and I was like, there's a lot of cuts in this scene. Yeah. But anyway, going back to something, so like the multiverse stuff I guess is in the toilet for now until we want to reintroduce it in like 6 years.
And honestly, they have so much else that they can pull from right now. I don't think they need to worry about the multiverse. That would be another layer.
It's interesting that Fury, who was Talos, did not confirm that at all.
What do you mean? Like, did not confirm it?
like he just believed him, I guess. Even like Fury, like I'm like
again, I want to get into the whole Talos thing of
that's
a whole
crazy as like hey like with Thanos, like I'd believe anything at this point. I still think Fury would check his bases if it was actually Fury, or like but like did Talos really not report back and been like, hey, this dude just like appeared out of nowhere and he's from another Earth? And, like, his Earth is gone.
But why would Fury know if that was true or not?
He knows people. That's what I'm saying. He wouldn't just be like, yeah, he's right. He'd be like, let me get some intel on this.
But see, that's it. I don't know who he'd even... If he's learning about this, if everyone's learning about the multiverse for the first time, even him as a
maybe
Skrull,
Captain Marvel would be like, yeah, it's possible based on this, and that.
But how would she know?
Because she's a space-based person. And she knows cosmic things.
Yeah, I don't know if that necessarily makes her the multiverse. If anyone, you talk to Doctor Strange, I think. But how are you going to get in contact with him?
Yeah, where is he?
They say he's busy with something. I don't know.
Sure.
And well, I mean, he's a no-joke character. Like, he is a major... He's not an alien... Yeah, wildly. Like, insanely. Yeah, like, the shit that he usually deals with is very... I don't know, like, it's big. It's very big. And that's all I got to say.
Big fucking deal. That's all I got to
Doctor Strange, big deal. That's it. But yeah, I don't know. I really thought they did a good job with just setting up how he's getting back at Tony, but also he's just like, man, anyone will believe anything these days. Like, I want to just take my own fucking crack at it. I'm done. And I like that idea of, yeah, I mean, imagine living in this time of a post-snap decimation, blink, whatever you want to call it. Who knows what the fuck... I loved the fucking teachers during this, by the way, too. This movie was very funny, and I think it's deservingly so. I mean,
I didn't really think anything, like, bad or good of them.
I thought the way he kept making the witchcraft joke for some reason... Like, I thought those two were the perfect guys to be the teacher characters on the trip. Again, these feel like a real class of people, in my opinion. Like, whereas, like, you go back to even Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2... This doesn't feel as real of a place to me at all. Like all their characters.
There's no substance at all with that.
If you ever go back and watch Spider-Man 1, please just look in the background. It's amazing. Like, it's just like, I don't even know.
Joe Manganiello.
There's Joe Manganiello, but there's other people. It's just like, what do they even tell them to do? Like, a guy is like trying to get into his locker in the weirdest way. There's a guy standing in a corner. I'm just like, did anyone ever go to high school and directed this thing? I don't know. It just feels like an actual real thing to me, which makes it work even more for me. Do we want to get to the final act, though, here? Third act?
Yeah, let's go for it, since that's what we're doing.
So, Mysterio wants to set up this big, climactic, Avengers-level threat. And he's going to set it up in London, right? Is where it is?
Yes.
He's going to cause this gigantic fucking whatever... It's going to be another elemental attack.
Together. Yeah. All of them together.
I do love that one scene where he's like, dude, feed me lines. He's like, oh, he's drawing magma from the earth to help power him. And then he says it to Fury. And then Fury goes, okay, this is some fucking bullshit. Like, whatever he's saying. Yeah. You can tell he's getting into
I like how it's interesting that, like, his whole, like, you know, the people who Stark kind of fucked over are all, like in on it to the point where, like, they're even, like, it's not Quentin Beck making up the story. It's... like his team, someone's feeding him lines. Very movie-esque, but like not. Really channeling that or like source material.
He had to have been a movie guy in the universe as well. Just the way he talks, and I mean, I guess he just realizes you need to have some gravitas behind everything, and that's what kind of sells, like glitz sells, whatever that means. But. Yeah, it's interesting. I loved his just non-Mysterio suit, his like fake Mysterio suit with the fishbowl with his heads-up display and just
like he has like a digitally like CGI suit.
It's basically he uses
and then
AR.
A real suit.
Yeah. And it's really cool.
It's interesting.
It is.
It's like not obvious.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, like it's not like they're gonna make Mysterio and he's gonna wear a CGI suit
and it makes
like,
total sense though
like
when you see it. And the one scene that I loved in this a lot that just brought it right into the comics was when he's fucking with
Dude, best scene in the movie.
Easy. So it's full on. If you ever played the Spider-Man, I think it's Spider-Man 2, the old game. There's like a scene that reminded me exactly of this. But it's like you're going through like the fun house and it's all these crazy, insane stuff happening. Mysterio's 20 feet tall and he's lording over Spider-Man.
And it's like with Scarecrow and Arkham.
Yeah.
In Asylum.
And it's just cool that they found a realistic way to depict that. Like, oh yeah, this makes sense. He's creating this AR environment
and they make
around
him think like, oh, something real happened, like he gets shot, and they're like, that's fake.
That's fake.
He kind of like lures him into it even more.
He's a master of illusion. Yeah, he really is.
Yeah. I think they really dip into he knows how to like trick people and be like elusive.
It works.
Yeah. Again, not a bit like it sucks. Like okay, like he's not gonna come back, and like he could have. Like I think like the way they built his power level at least was like wow, he's a real like threat. But like I guess killing him off, even if because like he's more of Tony Stark's villain than he is Spider-Man. Spider-Man just happens to be there.
And I mean, even you do hear him at the like when he finds out that Peter knows that this has all been a fake. He's like, now I gotta fucking kill Peter Parker. You know how mad I'm gonna be about that? Or something. I really loved his whole interactions with his whole crew. I can't give Gyllenhaal enough credit. And I'm just gonna keep saying it.
Yeah, he did good. I don't really know anyone that could have really like put in this role.
No, I don't either. And
who probably could have been like pretty good? Joaquin Phoenix.
I think he could have
in a weird way.
No, I think he could have worked for that.
Yeah.
He could have been very manic and I liked. He's not super like out of the box insane, but you can tell he's not. Right.
He just gets like even in Nightcrawler. I mean, like he just gets fucking mad out of nowhere. Yeah. Starts like raising his voice like maniacally.
The way it can turn on in a dime.
Yeah. And that's the character in Nightcrawler. He's like a He like gets
he's like not even bipolar.
No,
it's like a sociopath.
I'm talking about his job.
Yeah.
Like he gets on the scene first, and he's like the first news scoop, and that's what he is. And like he like really plays the game of that, and like is crazy about it. And like sometimes it bleeds out. Like there's a scene where he's like in his bathroom in the mirror, and he like screams at it and shakes it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Go see Nightcrawler. But I still think there is room. I think for him to be alive. Do I think that they did a good job of explaining why it's there? No, because you get the confirmation that all the illusions are down and all that. But maybe he hacked the glasses still in a way of that, like, it's projecting the stuff and saying that it's all down. I don't know.
Also, I like how they, like, they wrote it. Oh, yeah, Tony Stark left you a suit crafter. JK, it's gone.
Which one?
The plane gets blown up.
Oh, yeah.
Bye-bye.
I mean, he can easily...
No more suits.
He could easily be like, hey, Pepper, can I get a suit builder?
Another point of, like I've said this even before the movie, I don't like how, like, Spider-Man is so reliant on Tony Stark. Whereas in, like, okay, like, obviously the first suit he makes, and, like, it's shitty. Like, it's a hoodie and, like, sweatpants. And then the second suit is more put together. But he still, like, makes it on his own. I think we need to see that suit where, like, he's showing his intellect by making this technology himself, because that's what he's capable of.
But I mean, he made the web shooter technology by himself.
Yeah, true, but like, I want to see him make the suit, not just use a device that Tony Stark made to make the suit. Because you know he's gonna get
is he a master
suit.
Seamstress? Is he gonna? I thought it was always so far fetched that
cares?
Tobey Maguire was.
He does it in all the comics.
No, he doesn't. Not at all. I actually love.
He makes his own suit.
It makes total sense that he wears the hoodie in the first one. I don't know how he would come up and make this amazing suit without technology from Tony Stark. I don't know. Like, and even I just think that's an unreal. I get it. It's a superhero movie. He shoots webs from his wrist and he
once
sticks
he's
the
in
wall.
college, who knows?
I think that's
what I'm saying. Like he'll get there. He doesn't need to do it in the next movie.
I agree, and I think he did design.
They shouldn't make a suit change in the next movie.
No, they
should. Had like fucking 4 of them.
And even this one hasn't. This one really wasn't that major. They turned the blue parts black. If I was playing on...
Yeah. I didn't use it yet.
I was playing on that, and I just switched back and forth between the original one just to see like what would change on the exact costume.
It's just the color.
It's literally just the black where the blue is. I mean, that's basically... And the white spider outline around his chest. But, I mean, I really do like the black and red suit. Did you ever see the concept for the first one that they were thinking of going for Far From Home? It looked very, like, Spectacular Spider-Man, where Doc Ock's, like, in his head instead. It's got like a black spider and it's all black from down here, and he's got like the big wrist gun. It looks cool. I'll show you.
I kind of hope we get like a different Spider-Man emblem. I mean, like even Iron Spider doesn't really count.
Yeah.
But like I'm curious if like once he goes back to New York, is he gonna get put back in the Iron Spider suit? I kind of hope not.
He's already back in New York by the end of this.
Yeah, true.
And he's wearing the.
But I mean, like next movie.
Yeah.
What happened to Iron Spider?
And again, it's
sitting,
like why
sitting in his apartment?
Why wouldn't you wear that suit all the time, right? The Iron Spider suit.
Yeah,
because like you
exactly because it's better. But like I think it's like the final boss suit. Like you don't just put that on.
No, for sure. But I think if I was Peter Parker, I'd be wearing that suit every day. Like why wouldn't you? Yeah. Like it's bulletproof.
All right, so let's talk about the real the after credit scenes.
Yeah.
The first one.
What was the first one again? I'm trying to remember.
With
is it with Mysterio? Is that the? I'm trying to remember which ones they are. Is the second one with Maria Hill and?
No, sorry.
There's the mid credits and then the end one.
The mid credit scene is the scene
swinging
with MJ. You know, he takes her up in the air, whatever.
I did love that.
Fucking woos the shit out of her. Not really.
Yeah, no, I do love that she was just like, all right, I'm never fucking doing that again. You crazy fuck. But
so we get this new scene where like, okay, Mysterio outsmarts him again. I guess he's dead. I think
that's what that's what we assume.
So we find out the dude from Iron Man 1 leaks the footage to the news. The news gets a hold of him.
Doctored footage.
Yes. Pretty much Mysterio spins it to where like Spider-Man is controlling Edith and he is attacking he's the one attacking and he kills Mysterio and they buy it. And who backs it? J. Jonah Jameson himself as J.K. Simmons.
They brought it back?
Holy shit.
I was saying this in the theater. I'm like, dude, I love it. They probably tested like maybe 5 people and were like, you know what? Fuck this. J.K. Simmons, get back in here. Because why can't it be the same person? There's no...
yeah.
And I love they set him up as almost like...
perfect of a casting. It's funny, they haven't casted him like... He was not in Amazing Spider-Man.
No. They only
like, as soon as they said, correspondent from the Daily Bugle... I'm like,
and I love the way they said it, the controversial news site, the Daily Bugle. So they're setting it up as kind of like a, he's like an Alex Jones type thing. Yeah. I thought it makes sense.
Yeah, because like newspaper's dead.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense if the Daily Bugle was a newspaper, and it wouldn't make sense if Tony Stark was a photographer for a newspaper because that really like
Peter Parker. You said Tony Stark.
Yeah. If Peter Parker was a photographer of the Daily Bugle, because guess what? Like, I know like the Philadelphia Inquirer exists, but like I feel like that's like a very I'm a photographer for the Philadelphia Inquirer. Like that's a little unrealistic. Like they're not just photographers. Like they're writers or there's like,
not many just
they're doing interviews.
Just
like,
photographers usually.
Peter
these
Parker
days,
was a fucking photographer, and that's it.
And that's very much of he's a freelance photographer. Yeah, that's very much of the time he was created in. Too, and stuff like that. Yeah.
So like if he worked for like a website and he was a photographer for a website and he wrote articles on a website, like that would be like but like I don't even think they're gonna go that route.
Because I mean, guess what happens after this?
Peter, at the end of the tape we find out that Mysterio reveals
Peter Parker's identity.
So the world knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and he is a criminal.
That's fine. Yeah, and I did not expect them to do that.
No.
But literally, it makes total sense with what they've been setting up this entire movie.
The only thing that doesn't make sense is like, you realize the entire Avengers like crew, like not even like on the crew, as in like the team of Avengers can back Spider-Man, Nick Fury. Like I don't understand. Like a lot of people can like come to his back and be like, listen, like this is bullshit.
I don't think that's going to be I don't think that's going to be the major point of the next one. I think you're right. They're going to have to. There's going to be people coming like, no, this obviously wasn't him. Like we know, people were there. They saw what was going on.
Yeah, like Nick Fury, Talos, but like Nick Fury can like come to the bat and be like, listen, we were tricked by this guy.
Yeah.
He fooled us. Peter didn't do any of this.
And I guess it's how do you disseminate that? Because I will say one thing in this...
Is he going to get arrested? Is he going to take his stuff get taken away? Are we going to, what's going to happen?
Because even, if that is proven false, one thing we find in today, even with current day, is you get that initial story out there, and even if that initial story is false, and you get a new write-up that says, oh, sorry, we made a mix-up, the thing that's going to keep perpetuating is that fake story. That's the one that got all the clicks to begin with, or whatever. So I think even if they do come out and say, no, Spider-Man's not a criminal, there are going to be people out there going like, nah, fuck that. I know what I saw, or whatever.
I mean, that's like J. Jonah Jameson.
Exactly.
Calling Spider-Man a criminal, even though like he just clearly...
And I do love how that kind of, it seems to start his hate. Seems to be the...
Yeah, Quentin back as a hero.
Yeah. He will go down as a hero.
Real hero. Yeah.
It's the blossoming of his hate for Spider-Man.
I'm interested if we're going to see like a Civil War type scene, like the comic Civil War, where like...
He actually comes out.
In that comic, Spider-Man reveals his identity to be Peter Parker, and he takes off his mask and goes, my name's Peter Parker, and I've been Spider-Man since I was 15 years old. Yeah. Like, that's the big thing. Like, I wonder if they're going to do anything like that, where, like, he like, has a press conference and he actually just reveals himself, and, like, maybe once, like, the dust settled from this situation, like, he actually, like, comes out and be like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Like, how's J. Jonah Jameson gonna like
hire him for anything?
No.
It's like
I don't think he's gonna work for the Daily Bugle, but like that relationship usually dictates Spider-Man being a vigilante.
Yeah, I don't know, and I guess they really did. I said this before. They made him the real Iron Man in this respect of like Tony didn't have a secret identity. He was always known as Spider-Man. Even most of the Avengers.
Most of Marvel people don't care about their secret identities.
Yeah,
it's not a thing with Marvel characters. Like
especially for more of the core Avengers.
Like Captain America is like
he's Steve Rogers. Yeah,
but like nobody gives a shit that he's Steve Rogers.
No,
like nobody cares. Nobody cares about the X-Men, who they are. Like they're all known mutants, or like like.
It's usually more of a thing for Spider-Man, but yeah, I don't know how it's going to end up.
And
a
lot of DC characters are the same way. Like nobody knows Bruce Wayne is Batman. Nobody knows Clark Kent is Superman. Nobody knows
Diana Prince is one of them.
Nobody knows Hal Jordan is Green Lantern. Nobody knows or John Stewart.
People know John Stewart is Green Lantern though. He doesn't wear a mask. He's the only one who doesn't wear a mask. He likes to be known.
Yeah, a lot of the DC characters play into the secret identity thing, but not Marvel.
And
they've never tried to even touch upon it. Like I mean, like Hawkeye and Black Widow are SHIELD agents, like essentially, and I always like that, the fact that they're SHIELD agents and their code names are their superhero names.
Sure,
but they're Clint Barton and Natasha Romanoff.
Yeah. Yeah, anything else, Gooch? I'm trying to think. Obviously, the Talos and the other after credits.
Yeah, let's talk about the last credit scene. So we find out that Maria Hill and Fury are fucking Skrulls, which they talk about earlier, and it was like, why?
They mentioned Skrull cells.
Yeah, I was like, why did they just bring that up? Like,
yeah, that was weird.
Okay, we're moving on, I guess. And we find out that Fury was tasked them to, hey, just bring this to Peter. I'm on vacation, and it looks like he's.
But do we know that? Let's see.
Yeah, I think that's what they were supposed to do, and then everything.
No, I know. See, but I don't think that they were just. I think Talos has been subbing in for Fury for parts that we don't know about.
I don't think so.
Who knows if Maria Hill has even been a person?
He just got unsnapped, and he's probably been dealing with all sorts of shit. But
how did he get all the way out to space that quick? I think he's been.
Dude, there's way too many explanations for that.
He didn't leave with the Guardians. We see that at the end.
But I don't think this movie takes place right after the snap. It does not.
I just don't think. I think there's a possibility he's been swapping him in for him on many a different occasion, and that he's even been in other movies that they're going to reveal.
I don't think so.
Even Maria Hill, who knows if she's even another person? What if that's just been her the whole time? Because we don't know.
Yeah.
What? I don't think that's totally out of the box.
But yeah, Fury is taking a vacation in a fucking VR pod on a giant Kree space station, which looks like it could be Agents of S.W.O.R.D. almost it's SHIELD in space, it's a station where Fury's dealing with the cosmic level stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know what they're doing. That really threw me off in the fact of I just don't know where they're taking it. And I
don't think they're going to take it anywhere. I don't think they're setting up Secret Wars.
I don't think they're setting up Secret Wars either.
They're setting up the Skrulls to be too friendly at this point.
I don't think it's Secret Wars, but I think it's something. I'm just very curious. They wouldn't. No, I get that, but why would he put him in there to sub for him for a little bit? I feel
he wants to go on vacation.
I get that, but
he can just got unsnapped, and
he doesn't need to put Fury back. He can just go on vacation, and there's not another Fury. There's other people that can deal with things.
Is there?
And another thing that makes me believe that he's been leaving him in charge for other times is that he lives in right now. I feel like Talos has been swapping in for him for a while.
He was also he was dead until Endgame.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
No, I know.
Yeah,
But why would you need a vacation after being dead for 5 years? I feel like you'd want to get back to it.
Because he comes back and he's instantly thrown all this paperwork. I'm he's
is he
was the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. I assume he
is that even still a thing though? I'm honestly curious. I just don't what is his job? Does he have or is he just doing this stuff kind of freelance now?
I assume he's still with S.H.I.E.L.D. He's just not very in the open about it. S.H.I.E.L.D. is still dark level. We don't see any S.H.I.E.L.D. emblems on these guys. They're all seems under the radar, Black Op.
And I think they took that out because there was a S.H.I.E.L.D. symbol on Spider-Man's suit when they were filming
in that trailer.
In the one trailer, and also there were set photos. You saw it on his thing. Yeah,
I mean, it being developed by S.H.I.E.L.D. makes sense, but
for sure. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, it did raise some questions, but I don't think it's as deep as you're gonna think. I think it's gonna come out to be it's a space station in space, and there's Kree on it because we met the Kree in the '90s, and we established that relationship,
and we can go back and forth. I know what you're talking about.
And now he has the means. Like, it's not even just our Quinjets. It's, maybe like Captain Marvel took him up there, or fucking the Guardians. Like, I don't know. Like,
She carries him there and burns him alive in the atmosphere. Oh shit.
Yeah.
What happened?
Oops.
Well, I think that does it for me, Gooch. I don't know what else. Is there anything else? Am I missing anything?
No, I think that's it. I mean, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
I think it's got some weird faults that I'm just kind of nitpicky about. I think it's good. Again, we said that earlier.
Yeah. But go see the movie. That's my last thing. Thank you all so much for watching.
Really quick, actually, before we intro out.
Outro.
Sorry, outro out. The MCU is we're done for now.
Oh yeah, until we don't know anything that's coming next.
You know, we don't know the slate. Like, I guess it's going to be Black Widow or Eternals, but we are officially in a period where I guess at San Diego Comic-Con maybe we'll find out, but we don't know what is next for the MCU.
What it seems to me is going to be Black Widow, because that's filming right now, but they still won't even officially acknowledge that, even though it clearly is. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Have a little bit of a hiatus.
But, like, here's the thing. Like, are we going to get a hiatus? I would like one.
Wasn't Guardians supposed to be after
next,
this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guardians would have been next.
So I think that's the only reason we have this break right now. Honestly.
Well, I think we should get a break, man. I think they should, make us want the next Marvel movie. That's one thing, I'm kind of at the point where, superhero movies are getting very ritualistic.
Yeah.
At the point where, I just don't... It's not that I don't care as much, but I expect it. I always expect it.
Yeah.
And everyone should always expect it. So what if Marvel's like, you're not going to get a movie in 2019? I don't think we are. There's no way we're getting an MCU movie in 2019. It's not happening.
I disagree. I think Black Widow's coming easy.
No way. Absolutely
That's
not.
filming right now. What is it?
It's fucking July.
Yeah. They have half a year to finish filming
no,
post-production. That's
not going to happen.
I don't think that's out of the question whatsoever.
I do.
But...
if anything, that's movie is early 2020.
Why?
There's no way they're going to...
The only reason they do that is to hold it back.
Do you realize they filmed Far From Home, almost a year and a half ago?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. It's because they wanted to. They can easily... It's not a crunch. That's not like a crunch time to get...
But now they are crunching.
A movie films in 6 months. It's post-production for 3 months. 3 to 5 months.
That is not... Dude, you don't have... Yeah, 6 months. We have...
June, July.
So, no, let's go July, since we're still in the beginning of July. August, September,
They've been filming
October,
for June now.
November. December is 6 months.
Yeah.
There's no way they're turning out a movie in 6 months, editing it, doing everything they need to do.
They could easily have that out in November of next year. I don't even think that's a question. I really don't. I mean, especially with a spy movie with little to no special effects, I don't even think that's a problem at all. It's just if they want to do it or not. But we'll see what comes down the pipeline.
I don't think so.
Anything else?
No.
All right. Thank you all so much for watching. If you've been with us live on twitch.tv/DelcoNerdNetwork, we really appreciate it. You can find this podcast on demand over at YouTube. Just search Delco Nerd Network, as well as most podcast services. Leave us a review and let us know what you think, both the good and the bad. They really help us out. Be sure to like our Facebook page, as well as follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We are at the Delco Nerds on there. All this info can also be found on our site. Just please go to DelcoNerdNetwork.com. For Gooch, for me, I've been Trio. We'll see you next time, and stay nerdy.